We are traveling to Southeast Asia today in Around the World in 50 Foods.
We're taking you to Laos where we're going to be making pork lâp.
Lâপ!
It is not Laab, it's Laap.
Lâp!
Shout out to my sister-in-law who is Laotian for correcting us on how to pronounce this. It is spelled L-A-R-B, but it's actually pronounced Laap. So let's get started.
Pork lâp is the national dish of Laos, so we're gonna start with a bunch of pork. Here, this is about 600 grams of pork, and to season this, we're going to use fish sauce, sesame oil, a bit of normal oil, and lime, and a little bit of sugar. To mix in and give it some of this aromatics in the greens, what we're going to use is shallots. You need about 3 of these guys, a bunch of green onion. We have 3-4 stalks here, cilantro, lots and lots of mint, and rice. This is the thing that I've been told that really differentiates between very authentic and somewhat authentic. So you're going to toast some rice and add it in. And at the very end, we're going to toss in some chili for heat. So let's start with the rice. Let's get started. Toasting the rice is super easy. You just need a pan on medium heat. So let's do that. Good. And we're just going to toss the rice right in and spread it out like this. You need about 1 tablespoon of the rice, and we just let it sit and we wait. As the rice becomes more toasted and cooked, what you're going to see is that it's going to turn a solid white. At this point, you want to start stirring it and turn down the heat. You don't want the rice to burn. And pretty soon they're going to start turning this brown, golden brown color. This is what you're looking for. We got maybe another minute to go and then we're done toasting the rice. So there we go, the rice is toasted. So now you break out your grinding apparatus. We have a mortar and pestle, and then just add it straight in. Now don't burn yourself, the rice is hot, so use a spoon. And what we want to do is we want to grind this down so that it's a coarse meal. Not fine like flour, but you also don't want giant grains. Let's get grinding. Pro tip here, you're grinding. You don't need to pound on the rice. So what you will actually want to do is press the rice against the side of your mortar. If you're finding that the rice is jumping all over the place, take a piece of saran wrap, put it over top, and then go to town at it. You'll cut down a lot of mess.
Alright, so the next step is to actually prepare everything that's going to go into the pork, because the minute we put that pork in the pan, you're going to have to start adding all of the other ingredients in there. So you want to be prepared, you want to have everything chopped up and ready to go first. So I'm just going to go ahead and chop the green onion, the scallions, the chili, which pro tip here, if you're dealing with chilies, even if you touch the outside, do not, I repeat, do not touch your eyes. And I know this from experience, just don't do it. You don't want to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and start chopping. A second pro tip with the chili is if spice is not your thing, you don't have to put the whole chili in. You can still get a little bit of that chili flavor by putting this in the mixture with the sauces, and then when you're ready to use the sauce, just pour the sauce into the meat without the actual chilies in there.
Are you crying?
No.
Just people cutting onions?
Yeah. All right. Time for the chili. I repeat, do not touch your eyes. Now, you can use either a fresh chili or a dried one. We are using dried because we were not able to go get fresh chilies today, but they work just as well. And last, I'm just gonna cut our lime in half so it's ready to go. Again, like we've mentioned in our other videos, you wanna roll the lime on your cutting board to release all of the juices in it before you actually slice it open. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right down the middle, and we're gonna use that in our pork once we're ready. So I think we are now ready to actually start cooking the pork. The minute we put that pork in the dish, shortly after, the sauces are going in, and then all of these are going in. So make sure you have them ready to go. Like I mentioned, you want to be prepared before you start cooking the meat, and I clearly wasn't because I forgot the other two ingredients that need to be chopped. We've got a big bunch of cilantro, and we've got the mint here that we want to put in. So I'm going to chop that up as well before we start cooking the pork. Now, you only need about a 1/4 cup of cilantro for the amount of meat that we're cooking, so we probably don't need much more than this bunch here. And now we'll chop our mint. You're gonna wanna take your mint leaves off the stems because you don't want the stems in there. It doesn't need to be minced, it just needs to be in nice fine slices. All right, take two. Now we are ready to start cooking the meat. We've got all of our ingredients chopped and ready to go. So let's actually do this.
All right, take 3 of being unprepared. Like Tia said twice now, you're gonna need everything ready to go. So we're also going to mix up our sauce. The sauce is fairly simple. Inside a mixing bowl or a little container, you're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar and a whole tablespoon of fish sauce. Followed by the whole entire lime that Tia did cut up for me, which will also be squeezed into this little bowl. And that's your sauce. Now, depending on your batch, you may need more or less, but this is where taste testing comes in. But this is what we're going to start with. I can smell the mixture already. Very savory. It's going to be delicious on white rice.
Now, coming at you with another pro tip. This is very specific to Asian dishes. Very, very important that you preheat your pan or your wok. The reason Asian dishes get so flavorful and fragrant is because we actually cook these dishes at high heat. So you need to make sure that your pan is up to temperature before you put your meat in. The other thing I'm gonna say is don't overcrowd your pan. So we actually have a lot more pork that we're gonna cook because we wanna eat this, you know, throughout the week. But we're gonna cook it in batches because if you try and cook too big of a batch, you're not gonna get your flavors right. It's just not gonna work out. So small batches, preheat your pan. Put a little oil in here. Now you can use, typically you would use vegetable oil for this, but if you don't have vegetable oil on hand, honestly any oil will work. Canola, we're using olive oil because that's all we have right now. And it's just to make sure that the meat doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. We're now ready to add in our ground rice and our liquid mixture. So we're gonna start with the ground rice. and stir that all together. We're gonna leave this to cook for about a minute before we add our fresh vegetables. All right, time to add our scallions, green onions, chili, cilantro, and mint. So we're just gonna start here. And we're gonna stir fry this for another minute or two until everything is kind of mixed and cooked together. The last thing we're gonna do here is add some seasoning to taste. So that's pretty much it. Once you've mixed everything together, the last thing you're gonna do here is a taste test to see if all of your flavors are coming through the way that you want it to. If not, you taste it and add whatever needs to be added.
More lime.
Lime. So we're gonna add more lime here. All right, gonna try it again.
I think we're good.
And good to go.
Okay, well there you go. That was super easy. Again, another one pot deal. It's my favorite. I got some white rice here that I cooked this morning. Let's plate it and then try it. So let's get a good amount of larb in there. Laap. Now I'm choosing to eat this with rice because I love rice, but another way of eating this is with lettuce. So this is actually a really good recipe for a lettuce wrap. The shallots, cilantro, everything. It comes together so nicely. Hey, stop filming me. I'm gonna eat the rest of this.